This journey for me began 5 years ago when I was tasked to write the business case for transforming construction as part of the Industrial Strategy Challenge Fund. That's 3 prime ministers ago and about to be 10 construction ministers ago. So yeah, it's felt like such a long time, but also a quick time. But for those who don't know, I'm not actually from the construction sector at all. I've got no background in it. My job has always been to kind of translate for those that did need to approve a lot of this. And as part of that, I had to listen to a lot of the experts involved. And it was very clear that the sector itself knew what it needed to do to transform, but it was missing that kind of important catalyst of funding to trial those new approaches on builds, because, of course, you can't do these things in a lab in construction. And in working with aligned sectors, such as manufacturing and digital. And this, of course, is exactly what Immigration UK does. Innovate UK does. We're here to remove the barriers to innovating faster. And it's also precisely why the Construction Innovation Hub was needed, to bring together experts in construction, manufacturing and digital. Is the microphone gone? No? Okay. It just sounds it here. It's great. So in 2018, we kicked off £170 million of government funding, and I always like Keith's comment, that's roughly 170 million more than the government's ever given the sector before for innovation. And we started really early. We were one of the first to get going with a competition for the hub. 72 million, it's risen a little bit since, to kind of shape that market, put those rules in place. Because really the whole system for how we produce buildings has evolved into one where it's how cheap you can make it dominates over what the value it actually delivers. I mean, this is crazy when built infrastructure underpins about half of our GDP. The outputs you are responsible for affect a huge part of our economy and our society, thinking about things like health and energy, right at the top of the agenda right now. The Transforming Construction Challenge basically went out and supported pioneering projects to demonstrate we can deliver construction projects 50% faster, a third of the whole life cost. And given the sector isn't actually productive enough right now to deliver the committed necessary UK infrastructure pipeline we have with the workforce we have, showing that we could kind of boost productivity to the levels that close the gap with the rest of the economy, about 15%, was also critical, and we managed to do that in some of our projects as well. So all this is possible. But we also wanted to produce better buildings. Industrialised methods have shown that cutting embodied emissions in carbon in half is completely doable. Better quality buildings perform better. And the work we've done with the Active Building Centre shows that we can achieve net zero in operation for essentially the same cost overall as a traditionally built, less energy efficient building. The fact that any building is built today that isn't net zero, particularly at the moment, is an absolute scandal. The cost of retrofitting these buildings in the future will be much higher. And everything's in place for that to happen now. And if there's one thing I'd love to see going forward is that we stop building leaky buildings. But the biggest lesson for me from the last 5 years is that the construction sector has held itself back. It's been stuck in a system that means every building is essentially a prototype, that cheapness is prized over value, where transfer of risk is more important than whether the asset does the job it's supposed to. This is the system that is understood by the clients and the contractors and the supply chains, but doesn't work for any of you. The suite of examples we've now supported show this is no longer the case. The Transforming Construction programme has been a huge joint success. It wouldn't have worked without the commitment of industry, without the determination of government to change how it procures, without the leadership of the CLC, without the efforts and the vision of the innovators we worked with, without the belief of government departments that we can deliver better hospitals, schools and homes. With a platform approach to designing and assembling buildings and infrastructure, we can now shift our focus. Structural design being automated can speed up project implementation and allow architects and design engineers to focus their time on delivering value to the user. Supply chains can focus on material innovation to reduce carbon, improve quality and manufacturability, rather than producing the same product at a slightly different size and spec from project to project. And contractors can focus on having the most efficient sites almost operating like factories, boosting productivity, making them safer, completing faster with fewer defects, and the end product actually performing as it was designed. But most of all, users will benefit. I want to see a forward sector where teachers and pupils are able to concentrate longer because we've built more pleasing, more pleasant teaching environments. Doctors and nurses able to spend more time with their patients because wards are laid out better and consistently. Patients recovering faster because the hospitals are more calming surroundings. Transport infrastructure built and repaired with minimal disruption. All of these things have been done. And if you want to learn about any of the things that we've funded across Transforming Construction, visit ukri.org/TCC, because the Challenge programme has shown what's possible. It's up to you all now, just as Andrew said, to go out and implement this as fast as possible. For all the huge issues facing society today, you have the answer. You're the heroes of this story. Please keep writing it.